Hey everybody, so the last video where I sort of rambled aimlessly about old raids seemed to be quite, reasonably popular and people wanted to see more. So I'd actually thought I'd go back and talk about the Molten core, which was the very first raid in WoW, here in Blackrock Mountain, this horrible thing. And just some of my experiences, and just run through it and show you what the Molten core was about. It was an interesting raid, I gotta be honest. Getting 40 people together for it was actually quite exciting. And we had to sign up on a little forum and all these message boards that were kind of crappy, but it was a different kind of time, and you had to say, you're available. We had what was called DKP as well back then. I think I might have explained that last time, where every time you killed a boss you got points, and if you had enough points you could bid on an item, all sorts of crazy stuff. And getting in here was a pain in the ass as well. So before you even thought about stepping into this raid, bear in mind, you had to do a load of dungeons. Now, there's a couple of dungeons here, in fact. One of them is... oh god, where is it? Somewhere in here, there's a passage down, like this obelisk-looking thing here. Yeah, here we go. So, Blackrock Depths was a dungeon that's in this part, and it leads into the bottom part of the mountain, where, a whole city is, basically. And you had to do that dungeon a few times, to get a couple of bits of items. Then there was a dungeon up here... oh god, where am I? There. So there's a dungeon here as well. I think it was here. Called Upper Blackrock Spire. Now, that sort of led up, as opposed to down. And that had loads of your endgame sort of sets you had to get. There were a few dungeons like that, but basically you had to farm, I don't know, your dungeon set, which was called Tier 0 now. And, before you were even ready to step in Molten Core. And that was just the start of it. I'm lost completely. That was just the start of what you could do. You had to get these special fire resistance gear. Like I mentioned about nature resist last time. Where you, for one of the bosses, the bug boss, or a bug boss, you had to have a certain amount of nature resist to survive. Well, this, you had to have fire resist. Blizzard loved this kind of thing back in the day. Have I not done the achievement? Oh, no, I have. Okay. Wait, no, I haven't, but you can get away with it. Okay, cool. Right, yeah, so there's the other thing. You actually had to do a special quest to attune yourself to Molten Core. And their achievement quests were usually long and very irritating, but that one wasn't too bad. What you had to do for that is you had to go into the Blackrock Depths dungeon, get to a certain point of it. I think it's Blackrock Depths. Yeah, and then enter here manually, which is, you can actually see the dungeon outside. That's the Blackrock Depths dungeon. Once you've done that, you could teleport here. And then you had you and 39 other brave souls who would come into this place, which was full of crap mobs like these guys. They're lovely. Now, as you can see, this place is pretty big and expansive. There wasn't many places like this when WoW sort of got going, so this was quite new and novel and exciting. Now, I haven't done any of this on this Demon Hunter character, so you have to excuse all the spam that's going to come from the air. But anyway, we're just got to mosey down here. So, now, doing all this would take you absolutely forever. And the biggest thing that always makes me laugh and always remember, these friggin' dogs, okay? Now, if I kill it, as you can see, I got a special icon coming up, which allows you to skin the dog. As you can see, I skinned it. Now, unless all 39 people, or well, one of the 39 or 40 people in the raid, would loot that dog, you couldn't skin it. And our raid leader would spend forever just shouting people, okay, who hasn't looted the dog? He was, Eastern European. That's a terrible accent, but it's a rough estimation of what he was like. Who hasn't looted the dog? Okay, seriously, we're not going anywhere till someone loots the dog. No one loots... someone loot the fucking dog. We're not going anywhere. We will sit here all night. No one loots the dog, okay? Okay. Someone's looted the dog. Thank you for looting the dog. Now we can continue. And you just imagine that. Every single time one of these things died. Every time. So somebody out there, I think, was just doing it to piss him off, which was half the fun, really, because he was quite a grumpy sod. And he was an older fella. I think he's about 40. I can't remember his name now. And I can't remember for the life of me what his name was. But he was about 40, and he did our raid leading. But he used to get so angry about these dogs being skinned. It was hilarious. Anyway, so you fight your way past all this crap. Finally get into the first area where the first boss is. Now, what you'd have to do, or what we tended to do, was kill this first pack, which you have to kill all at the same time, I might add. They didn't all die at the same time. They bring each other back to life, which is super irritating. So you'd kill this first pack, and then you'd wait, because this dude called Lucifron, this bloke here, I know he looks like a standard sort of salamander worm dude, because he is, basically, he's just slightly taller than the rest of them. But he's the first boss. His shtick was about dispelling, if I remember right. He gave a magical debuff that really sucked ass. I'll see if I can show you. Come here, you. Here we go, Lucy. Lucy's come along. Now, Lucy was the first sort of test for guilds. He has two, dudes that you had to get rid of first, really. I'm pretty sure they did some shenanigans, healed him, or I forget. And Lucy himself tries to cast a curse. I'm not sure he's... oh, he did it! Yeah, there we go. Lucifron's curse. Spell and ability cost increased by 100%. Now, if your local, dispellers didn't actually do anything, that would cost you the raid, like, or the thing, you would wipe. And so that was the first sort of test of guilds. But back when I first started, there was an add-on that did this for you, like Dispeller, I think it was called, or something like that. And all that your guys had to do was push a button, and it automatically choose the right person for you and dispel it. And I think Blizzard got really irritable about that, because I remember they taken it away, and it was a bit of a hoo-ha around it, but hey-ho. Alright, so, a few packs later, which these things took about 5 minutes. Oh, shit! Okay, that's my fault. That's my fault. This is what would happen if you didn't do the packs properly. You had to wait for them all to disintegrate, so we're gonna have to wait for them all to res. Alright guys, whenever you're ready. Yep, that was totally on me. That was totally on me. My mistake. Sorry. Just gonna blow them all up at once. Excellent. So they smolder for a bit. Yeah, that was totally on me. Oh, so this guy, right, the general gist of this guy was, when he first released, he enrages, and you have to have a hunter use tranquilizing shot. But I think if I remember right, he dropped the tranquilizing shot book. So the first few attempts of this was really wank, and after you got a few people going, it was, you know, a bit more manageable. Snaring leggings, some sort of claw thing, a pet that I don't want. Excellent. Cool, right, now, he's the one who dropped some of the rogue stuff, and I played a rogue back in the day, so I was always interested in Magmada. He was a good man. I think he actually dropped everybody's legs, I think it was. Look, there you go, druid legs. Look absolutely dreadful. Some of the tier 1 looks quite nice. I think the druid stuff looked a bit meh. The tier 2 druid stuff looked good, but hey. Alright, so where is it next? Now this is I just realised this is a really long one to do, so this video's going to be a bit long. It's going to be long and just nostalgia, I'm very sorry. Makes me all teary about how much time I wasted in here. Right. Next on the list of things to annoy us is loads of trash packs. Now, for the sake of time, I'm going to not do that. I'm going to fly down here. One of the perks of being a demon huntress is that you can fly. Isn't she lovely? Then we're just going to explode these bits of trash mob. These trash weren't so bad because they would occasionally drop. No, they're not going to do it. Occasionally drop your, like, what's it called? Wrists? Like, each class has a wrist. Like an epic wrist piece. And these trash would drop it, which is always nice. So, there's something extra to sort of look forward to. I should probably swap in a DPS spec now. That might be a bit quicker. Oh, Gennis. I can never remember what Gennis does. It's been so long. And, after all this time of just splatting him like this, I know he has some sort of thing. He was just an ad fight. He did some sort of Gennis' curse, I think, kind of like Lucifron. Here we go. There we go. My DPS spec with tank gear. But never mind, it's a little bit quicker getting through, so. Yoink. Okay, next on the list was someone was actually relatively interesting. A guy called Gar. Now, Gar's a big rock monster because Blizzard was super lazy with models. I mean, shit, I think half the things in here didn't have a unique model. I think it's only the core hounds. Yeah, so this is Gar. He was a bit rubbish. The shtick was that you had to get rid of the ads. Every time one of the ads around Gar died, it blew up, sent people everywhere. Oh! Okay, this is nostalgia for me. This was my first dagger. That was my very first dagger that I got on my first rogue. And it was awesome. By awesome, I mean it was dreadful. Like, ooh, hello. What's this? Requires engineering. Cute. Anyway, yeah, that was my very first dagger. It really was a bit cack. It has, if you look at it, it has no stats, and has a chance on a hit of sending some sort of crappy shadowy bolt and lowering stats. Like, great, wonderful. Yeah, has some good stuff. A lot of the items in here were, it was at a time where Blizzard didn't know how to itemize correctly for like each of the classes, so you had weird stats on everything or no stats on stuff. Very strange. But it didn't really matter because you got purples, and that was the important thing. And you looked cool, and you could stand in Westfall and impress all the local peasants. Like, look at my shit. I'm level 60. Okay, so I kind of want to actually pull this guy carefully. Okay, Baron Geddon, come here. Oh, I ain't got taunt anymore. Come here, Baron Geddon. Damn it, how am I going to pull him without angering him? I should have stayed in tank spec. Right, I'm going to have to run into him directly, I guess. Because there's a couple of, like, funny stories. Shazara being one of them, actually. Alright, Garen, he's pissing off. Shazara, as a rogue, I wasn't allowed near. Because Shazara, if I can pull him. Alright, got his attention. He does some... Yeah, the Arcane Explosion... Oh, I stunned myself somehow. Derp. The Arcane Explosion would kill all the melee. So all of us melee would just sit back and use our bows and arrow if he got close. Like, once to tag him. And that was about it. Yeah, Shazara sucked. I don't have good memories of Shazara. All this crap I don't want. Night Slayer boots. Ooh, rogue boots. Okay. Right, onwards. It was at this point that we used to do unique pools here. So instead of doing what I'm doing here, you'd have a hunter send a pet all the way up to pull each of the trash packs back, and you'd be here as a raid, and the hunter would send his pet all the way up the passageway, pull a pack, come all the way back. That was like how this worked for every. Damn it, Baron! I want to show you what's going on, but if you keep running away from me, I can't do that. How close have I got to be to pull this guy? Oh, piss! Oh well, never mind. What have we got here? Arcanist, Earthfew, garbage. Right. Yeah, so the idea was, as I was saying, was to pull packs back so that you'd have a free run at Baron Geddon there. And you'd pull him back as well with the pet using the same method. Which was kind of cool. But obviously I couldn't shoot that. Baron Geddon has a really cool mechanic where someone is the bomb and they explode and take out anyone near them. So you had to like try and manage that. Alright, let's not pull Golmag too soon. Okay, so normally you'd pull all this crap, but I'm being lazy. So Golmag was just a ad fight. He does a lot of damage. As a rogue, I didn't really see much of the mechanics, I have to be honest with you. We had to take out the Core Rager, which I think eventually come back. And then take out Golmag himself. He wasn't a very interesting boss, but he did drop all the stuff I wanted. And he never did. I think it was my Night Slayer chest piece. He dropped it once or twice, actually. My Night Slayer. I managed to get mine in the end. Okay, moving on. Who's left? Let's see. Oh yeah, we got Sulfuron and Major Domo, and then the big boy himself, Ragnaros. Ragnaros is kind of the interesting sort of fight here, and that's probably the one that people most likely want to see, but hey. Right, I'm actually going to swap back to tank, I just realized, because while this is a bit quicker, I got my taunt. Which allows me to pull the bosses and show you the mechanics without, you know, killing them to death. Yo. Yo. Alright, so Sulfuron, all he was an ad fight. The priest used to heal him, which was obnoxious, so you had to take out the priest one by one. And you had to make sure that the priests were interrupted. And even with 40 of you, this took a friggin' long time, let me tell you. And then Sulfuron himself would do some stupid crap. And he died. Again, there wasn't a lot to him. He was pretty basic. Basic, I mean, I say basic now, but these things took 40 people, and they used to wipe raids all the time. Wasn't particularly unheard of to have a boss, like, completely stuff you if you weren't paying that much attention. Can I climb up here? Can I save myself some time? Bet I can. Ooh, I bet I can. Really? No path? Come on. Come on, man. Come on. Ah, close enough. Right, who's left? So we got Major Domo. Major Domo was another ad fight. Blizzard loved these back then. Like, this was a case of every time you killed one of these suckers, the other ones brought all of the health brought back. So you took out the healers first. As you can see, they got this cool debuff, but Witch and Blow them all at once. Neat. You had to do them one by one. Occasionally Major Domo would teleport you into the middle, which was obnoxious. I'm gonna have the raid leader go, get out of the middle! Get out of the middle! Do not stand in the middle! Kill the priests! Yeah, he just yaps on a bit. What we got in our crappy chest? Ooh, Fire Guard shoulders. Look how terrible these things look. Beautiful. I'll take those. He did some RP stuff. It was kind of cool. Whoops. Pull the pack. Right, now you've killed everybody. Oh, bear in mind, I completely forgot this. These things on the floor that I'm walking over, you actually had to be honoured with these Hydraxian Waterlord twats. And if you weren't, or someone in the raid wasn't, you had to have at least 5 people honoured in the raid to do this. Because you had to buy something called Quintessence, Aqua Quintessence? I'm trying to remember now. Sorry, it's been 10 years trying to... something like that. So you bought that, and you'd put out the runes. Like, they're on fire, and you put them out. Now, once all of them are out, that's when Major Domo shows up. Yeah, so it had like an artificial time blocky thing going on with it, which was not really that cool. And Blizzard kind of loved doing that. Like, they dropped that with Blackwing Lair, but for this one it was just like a big old reppy grind thing, which was awful. But hey, eventually everybody got honoured, and probably exalted, because you cleared this thing a lot. Once a week, every week. And, for sick loot. But yeah, it's just another one of those weird old designs in an MMO they don't tend to bother with, unless your name's Wildstar and you decide to commit MMO suicide for some reason. Wildstar was a strange case. They went for this whole... Ooh, I'm friendly. Nice. They went for this whole old school WoW mentality with their design, especially with the attunement quests. But there's a reason that WoW dropped those, I gotta be honest. It's because it's a bit rubbish. Can I jump over here? Yeah. Cool. Right. You had some RP stuff. It was pretty awesome. Now, this is the fight you needed mainly needed your fire resistance for. Some of the others you needed some, like 100. This one I think you needed like 150 minimum. Because Ragnaros was a real dick. Tell me more about the old gods and stuff. See, old gods? Lovecrafty stuff. Sort of. Very well, Kaine, he says. Okay, he doesn't have any more voice acting because, you know, they didn't really have much then. You were lucky you got a little bit. I mean, Ragnaros has some himself. Now, bear in mind, I used to play this on a fucking potato. Remember the machine I did Fear on? I think it was the same PC. I think. No, it wouldn't have been. No, it would have been the one I played. No, the one I did Fear on was actually worse than the one I played on this. Creepy. What was it? Oh, I'm trying to remember what PC I did what on. Christ. I used to have a PC that was so big it could eat small children. It might have been that one. That was crap anyway. Anyway, point being... Oh, I can't even show him properly. It will stand back a little bit. There's Raggy. Yeah, so every time Raggy turned up, everybody's frame rate went to piss. Like, which made this fight a little bit harder than it needed to be. This was kind of a cool fight. Tank tanked him, like, facing one particular way, because he does a lot of AoE stuff. Like, Tank stood, like, here-ish. All the DPS stood round in, like, a crescent moon sort of shape around here. He has, like, a phase where you smack him a bit, then he drops under the ground, loads of ads turn up, you beat them up, he jumps back up. It was kind of cool. I mean, it looked the part. As you can see, he's... Shit, I can't show you properly. Come here. I think he looks awesome, even to this day. Look at him. It's kind of cute. I've got, like, 5 times your HP. That's really odd. Now think about it. I'm like my own raid boss. Beep! Ragnaros is dead. All hail. What do we got? Garbage. Utter garbage. Delicious, delicious garbage. That is the Molten Core. I hope that my nostalgic memories of this place wasn't too dull. And, again, if you want to see any more of the raids that I've done, because I can only show you the ones I did, I'm more than happy to show you, like, and take you on a little tour and whatnot. It's fun. It's fun for me to do these again, actually, every so often. Especially thinking about some of the stuff that happened. Like those bloody dogs. Oh, Blackwing Lair, which is the next raid that we did. Has a lot of little silly stories as well. There's some stupid stuff that used to happen in there. And it's interesting to look back on the design in Warcraft and how things have actually evolved in 10 years. I mean, raid encounters today are, like, much more intricate. Like, people say, like, oh, they're easy and stuff. But to an extent, I suppose they are. But that's only because they drop some of the bullshit mechanics these things used to have. Like, having to farm fire resistance green pants that were absolutely naff but stopped you exploding from this guy was interesting, but rubbish. Like, looking back on it, it's an interesting thing. I see what they had going, you know. You even had racials. You had, like, the Night Elves had nature resist as a racial. You know, for certain stuff like that. And, like, also, that's all dropped now. I mean, it used to be in your character tab around here somewhere. But yeah, there you go, Molten Core. I hope you enjoyed this little tour. And, again, if people are interested, I'm more than happy to do extra tours. Oh, I wonder if I could show the... Ooh, can I show the... Yeah, you know what? Before we finish, let me show you something pretty funky. Wait, I want to go to Orgrimmar. Okay, yeah, let's do. So, I'll show you something a little bit Lovecrafty. Like, Lovecrafty in a sense, again, an Easter eggy sense in terms of tentacles and flaying monsters and stuff. Only because it's quite cool. Right, where are we going? Let's get on my Mega Moose. Miss! Where am I going? Orgrimmar. This way. You can make some cool videos out of WoW, I think, in general. I think you'd have to... It's going to be... Warcraft's a very interesting game for certain parts, like when stuff like this is happening, and you can show stuff off. And other times it's a bit rubbishy. There's not a lot going on. I think you bore people to tears. Now, hopefully you haven't all been bored to tears by my nostalgia first. Right. Where are we going? We're going this way. We want to go to somewhere called the Twilight Highlands. Ah, here we are. On my Mega Moose. Miss! I think, like, Sylvanas looks really weird in this load screen. Just strange. Okay, here we are. Right. What mount should we go on? Oh, let's get on the Proto-Drake. Proto-Drake looks cool. Whoosh. Okay. So, this was just a questing area back in Cataclysm. Cataclysm was a bit boring for the most part. Had some cool raids, though. Like that big spire you can see in the background there. There. Yeah, that was quite a cool raid. Let's see. That was mostly by the time I quit raiding. Like, I didn't raid anymore. I don't particularly, like, properly now. I'm not in, like, a guild or anything like that. I just don't have the time, but it's still nice to pot around. There you go. The Maw of Madness. See, it's even got a cool name. Flap, flap, flap. One thing I am always impressed of with Warcraft is the size of the friggin' world. It is big. It is lovely to sometimes just get yourself lost in a gigantic place full of things to do. And this does have a lot to do in it. And it's nice, and I like big game worlds that feel alive. And even though it's an MMO and it's old and it's very cartoony looking, I still think it has that going for it. Even though I still regularly don't play this all the time. I quit. I normally play for like a couple of months and don't play for a year, but it's still nice to come back and potter and feel so familiar. Anyway, yeah, look at this thing. Ugh, this is one of these old god servant creatures. Lots of tentacles, many mouths, lots of madness going on. And what you can do, we can actually fly down inside. Not sure whether it will let us or we'll freak out, but we can have a quick nosy. Ugh. It's called Isarath, this thing? Nasty. Yeah, look at this, in the insides of it, and there's weird creatures inside. In one of the raids, you go inside these things, and there's a boss inside that speaks old god nonsense babble at you. Which is kind of cool. There you go. I thought I'd show something, like, Lovecrafty related while we were here. It's, I don't know, I like the look of this thing, it's super creepy. Again, it's only Lovecraft in the Easter eggy sense. It's not like this unimaginable horror that you can't describe. This is more like, oh look, it's like some sort of gigantic shoggoth looking thing. Sort of, anyway. Anyway, that's it. I've said the word anyway like a million times. If you took a shot every time I said it, you're probably dead by now. So, with that said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And again, if you do like this kind of thing, let me know, and I'll do some more. If you don't, also let me know, and I won't do any more. So I don't mind. It's fun for me to do, but I don't want to bore you all to tears either. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time.